You know the type. That person at the party, work, or social gathering that seems to get away with no matter what they say. And you're like, that joke wasn't even that funny. But the whole room's busting out like it was the most hilarious thing in the world. And you think to yourself, why can't I be like that? Why am I always overthinking everything that I say or said? To some of us, it comes natural, but to others, it needs to be learned. What if I told you that in the next 5 minutes, I could teach you 5 strategies that will instantly make you more charismatic? So I've kept myself pretty isolated for the past couple months. I quit working and submerged myself in philosophy, scripture, and self-reflection, trying to figure out what I want in life, where I want to be. I'm pretty content at the moment, not gonna lie. But eventually, I know I'm gonna have to get back into the world and be social. One of my worries was always, am I gonna get along with the new people I'm around? Sounds ridiculous, but it's a real thought. So I started studying on social intelligence. Although I already kind of knew these things, a great refresher was the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's the fundamentals of social intelligence. For example, one of my favorite things that Dale Carnegie said in the book was be interested, not interesting. So if you're taking notes, take that down as tip number 1. Be interested, not interesting. You know the type. It's like every conversation that you have ends up being steered towards them. And every experience or emotion that you have has a counter experience or emotion towards themselves. Not only does it come off as being a tryhard, but you also want to escape the conversation. So let's take this to another conversation. You're having a conversation with somebody who's actively listening. They're nodding their head. They're asking questions about your experiences. Which person are you more inclined to talk to, A or B? Of course, B. And what I really like about this method is the fact that it takes almost no effort and less pressure, because really all you have to do is listen and actively ask questions. And it may seem like a hack or a superpower, but the caveat to this is make sure that you're sincere. Sincerity is the whole thing, because if you're not sincere, it's just gonna be manipulation. Speak in such a way that others love to listen to you. Listen in such a way that others love to speak to you. And number 2 in the notes, write this one down. Name, name, name. If you can repeat somebody's name 3 times, you'll be able to remember it. Or so I've heard. And Dale Carnegie said, names are the sweetest and most important sound in any language. If you think about it, your name is like your favorite song. When you hear it, your ears perk up. And maybe the title and the lyrics to the song change from person to person, but it all has the same meaning. And it sounds so good that even dogs enjoy the sound. Tip number 3, smile. Yeah, I know. Easier said than done. But I'm not saying walk around with a cheesy grin on your face everywhere you go. But having a warmer expression on your face makes a huge difference. I read this book called The Charisma Myth. Don't worry, I'll put links to the books in the description down below. And it had a really cool hack in it. Have you ever heard of RBF, resting bitch face? A lot of us carry it with us when we're just being pensive, thinking about stuff. On the outside, it comes off as unapproachable. The hack in this book was to not smile, but just think about smiling. And by just thinking about smiling, your face comes off warmer than your pensive face. Test this out. Take a picture of your face as is in concentration, and then take a picture of your face after thinking about smiling, and you'll see the difference. It's more approachable, it's warmer, and I practice this every time I'm walking down the street. I get better eye contact, and people can't help but smile when you look at them while you're even just thinking about smiling. It's almost like you manifest a warmer environment. And number 4 is compliments. And I'm not talking about complimenting people on their physical attributes, because that just comes off as shallow. More like complimenting choices and actions. You can compliment the clothes they wear. You can compliment the way that they do things. But compliments go a long way. And like I said before, this all needs to be sincere, or else it comes off as manipulation. And number 5, this is probably the most important out of all the tips that I just shared. So make sure you write this one down, because if you learn this, all the other things I just said will come natural. And that's, remember, everyone here has something that they can teach you about yourself.